Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone. We are prepared to start. If you are ready as well, show us your plus signs and fire signs, and we'll ask the moderator to activate the chat box. And while we're getting positive feedback from you, it will stay open. So please be very polite and leave your questions until after our presentations. We'll go into your questions for sure. I'm going to launch my presentation now. Thank you very much for being on time. Thank you for investing time into your education because you want to make really good money. Exactly, we are here to help you. And now I would like to invite here two experts on our today's subject matter, DexNet Tokenomics, and together with them, we're going to discuss this rather sophisticated matter by trying to explain it to you in layman's terms so that everyone would understand the future and potential of the token. First of all, we're going to talk today about the DexNet product, about DexNet services, which are about to be launched, which have already been launched, and which are successfully used by our partners and clients. We're going to talk about tokenomics, about the financial model of DexNet project, not DexNet project, because project is something provisional, temporary, but the company is something for good. We'll talk about the prospects of launching our own DexNet blockchain. It is a very important matter for us. Of course, how much money you can make if you get access to the validation rights and how you can get them. We have really cool news to share with you today vis-a-vis what we have already shared with you before. And what is better to buy DexNode or tokens or both? We'll talk about all of that today in great detail. So our chat has been activated. Thank you very much for being so intensive and positive in your feedback. Please write what cities and countries you come from here. And while we're looking at your geography, I'm going to introduce our experts who are going to share very graciously their experience and knowledge with you. So my name is Dmitry Salimov. I'm the CEO or Chief Executive Officer of Dex Freedom. Dex Freedom is a company which promotes DexNet technology, its products and services all over the world. DexNet technology allows us not only to be clients of DexNet company, but also to be a partner of that company. In other words, to make more money on referrals and recommendations. That's how we make money in Dex Freedom. That's how we make our money. That's why our clients in more than 50 countries already, and our partners who provide their referral links and recommendations to DexNet products have made already over $1 million in the past 12 months. And this is the company I'm running here, and we're in the very beginning of our development. We're planning to sell a total of 1 billion Dex nodes in the next 10 years, and we have already sold more than 3,000 devices in more than 50 countries of the world. The second expert to speak to you today, to answer your questions, to share his knowledge, is Sergey Drozdovsky. He is the business person with a wealth of experience for more than 23 years. He's been solely in business, both online and offline, for more than 5 years. He's been online supervising different companies, launching new startups. In that period of time, he managed to become totally financially independent, which means that independent of whether he works or not, he has enough money to spare. He's the person to follow or take examples from. And what helped him to make such an achievement is his education, his commercial and accountancy education that helps him his strategy, and he knows how to avoid all the pitfalls and the automated system. If you're a partner of Dex Freedom, you must have seen our automated bot system, which has invited you to this webinar. And Sergey is the co-author of that automation system that simplifies our business and makes it accessible for every single person, like a gift, basically. So this is the kind of bountiful charity that we exercise at our company. Another speaker who has even longer experience than Sergey and I altogether is Mikhail Nikanorov. He's the financial consultant or financial advisor of the company, and he's been in this business for over 35 years. He's been in business all his life, basically. In the past 12, 15 years, he's been helping people and achieving great successes in different spheres of lives, like business, family affairs, everything. So he is a personal growth speaker and financial consultant. He has been into real estate business for and making money off the percentage of his returns for more than 10 years. He made enough money and he's working off the percentage. And he has studied in 3 international financial academies. He has been teaching and continues his teaching job, and he's going to share his experience with you today. You will see how serious they are today. You see their videos now, and we're going to speak about a very serious matter here, but we want to make sure that we have already hundreds of people connected to us, and we want to make sure that every single one of you will understand all ins and outs of the DexNet technology, and you see your own personal future much for a longer period than before. So let's start. To begin with, I'm going to tell you what DexNet technology is all about, what the whole tokenomics was born for. This product is this DexNode device. I'm having a special device in a transparent body, but usually our users use the device which is shown on the screen here, black colored. This is like hardware, software complex, which is not only this device that I'm holding here, but a significant part of it, the biggest value of it will be the software. In other words, the key which activates this device. If you simply buy the box and plug it in, it's not enough. You need to buy the software as well. The DexNode is equipped with 3 communication channels, which allows you, through this communication links, the way it communicates with other DexNodes all over the world, it ensures the decentralized storage of information. Decentralized means there is no single server. It means that the information stored there is invulnerable and safe, independent of whether these are some personal files of a given user or company files or digital assets or some bookkeeping, photos, movies, whatever, any kind of information. In the same manner, any other services. Because this technology allows us to decentralize the storage of any information or data, we can deploy all sorts of services based on that. Already, people start using it. We've been preparing for a year for that. We're building the foundation, placing DexNodes in 50 countries, and then the power of the existing network is big enough to have many services deployed successfully. Let's look at what services have been deployed, but before I do that, let's look at this slide. I've actually shown it to you. More than 3,000 DexNodes have been procured in just 1 year since the beginning of the sales of the devices, and they can be found in already more than 50 different countries, which means that it's not one-day job. It's a project developed for good, for a very long period, and those people who decide to buy DexNodes or different digital services, this only increases the longevity of this business. So these are the services which are actively used by our clients all over the world, which are deployed owing to the network made up of these DexNode devices. First service is the Dex Cloud. It's like Yandex and Google Disk, which allows you to store your files in a decentralized manner. Each DexNode owner has 20 gigabytes of such decentralized storage cloud. Nobody has access to it, even the developers. Nobody can jailbreaks, rob, or steal that information from you. That's number one. Secondly, Dex Mobile. It's a mobile internet operator. In other words, that's a SIM card which is installed into, it's a digital SIM card which is installed into your cell phone. I have an iPhone, and doesn't have a physical SIM card. It has a virtual or digital SIM card, which provides me with a high-speed internet through GSM channel. It connects to the closest mobile tower of any telecom operator in any country of the world. I've been to many countries already, and it worked everywhere. Just a few days I visited Thailand. A week ago I was in China, and everywhere that connection worked so well that access to internet provided me access to all the services which were officially blocked in that country. When the Chinese saw that the Google Translator works in my cell phone, they were quite surprised because no Google works in China. The same manner in Russia, Ukraine, or Kazakhstan, they block different services that are blocked by regulators. But if you use Dex Mobile SIM card, you're beyond these bans, beyond these rules. You create your own rules and you get access to all the services in a full manner. So this is the second service. It's been tested for public access and is going to go public by the end of this month. Everybody will be able to buy it and use it all over the world. Next, DexPoint. It's a totally free of charge application that you can download in Dex Play Market or App Store. It carves out a piece of a memory of your cell phone, whatever piece you allow it to use, and for that you get tokens credited to your account. And DexNet tokens we're going to discuss today. And finally, DexGame, other services which are deployed also owing to the DexNet technology. I'm not going to speak at length about that today, but this week already we will have a dedicated webinar from DexNet where you will see the very first game. You will hear my words as the coming attraction announcement, but that will be the game that is going to get hundreds of millions of users. So DexNet technology is going to familiarize hundreds of millions of users, and we're going to launch this game at the end of this week. We have at the end of this month. We have a couple of weeks left. It's going to be a free of charge game for download, but the gifts distributed by it are very real. And DexSafe, this is our pet favorite product that all of us use and enjoy to use. This is indeed a totally decentralized crypto wallet. You keep your assets, nobody else has access to it. It's a non-custodial wallet, where in a regular crypto wallet, your assets are not yours. But here it's totally different. Here you can safely store or transfer, do whatever transactions you want with cryptocurrencies. These are just a handful of services that we touched upon today, but what I can tell you is that if you know whatever crypto wallets or have used them before, you might know that the wallets who have their own token attached to them, or scratch it a way around, any token which has attached to it any of those services that I've just mentioned, get your investments returned much quicker and at greater access than any other asset. So this is no longer legend. These are real services that can benefit their clients realistically. We already have quite a number of those services, which means that the potential growth of our token is huge. Also, we're going to have other services launched in future: Dex Messenger, Dex Metawares, and possibly our own Dex Phone and Dex Blockchain, of course. And we're not going to discuss it today. Let's move on. Our own blockchain. We put it on a separate slide because the capacities of blockchain are unlimited and they allow us to control, run, manage, and do whatever operations with different digital assets totally transparently and with great level of security and credibility for whoever uses blockchains. We'll talk about blockchains today at length because that uncovers the potential of our token. At this moment, I would like to hear comments or feedback from Sergey and Mikhail. If you have something to add about DexNode or services, now is the time. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. As far as DexNode is concerned, I would have added here that behind any technology stands a really good idea. And that idea also helps that technology to capitalize. And here we have not that novel an idea. This is an idea that many people fell in love with. Some people don't know how to live without it. It's the idea of internet. And when internet arrived at our house, it brought in a lot of opportunities, along with many risks and threats, because databases can be broken into, and robbers can break into the house not through the gate or a door, but through a home network. But that technology creates a super safe security for us. It gives us something that we are already used to, but at a totally different level. And the same is true about the blockchain. I'm quite surprised, Dmitry, that you failed to mention that the speed of that blockchain is unique. That the speed is unheard of. The two things of that about this blockchain: it quickly processes transactions, which in the modern world of cryptocurrencies is might come quite in handy because there are many more users, and the speed is important for people. And the second thing is the value or the price of transaction. Here we offer these transactions at a very ridiculously low price because people want to get their service, and at the same time at a lower price than the competition. And these are the two things that this blockchain has to offer, which makes it very appealing for users. Hello everyone, guys. What I can add here, it's about DexNode. Initially, I never did any mining or whatever is related to creation of new cryptocurrencies because I found it too difficult. But DexNet created a device, DexNode, which creates or generates tokens and distributes them. It looks like mining, sounds like mining, although it's not. But the main idea is the simplicity. Any person without any specialized education in IT or cryptocurrency or economics can simply buy the device, plug it in, and connect it to your Wi-Fi router, and you become part of creation of a huge technology called DexNet distributed storage of data. That's what appealed to me the most, because that's something that can enjoy mass acceptance. The simplicity when you don't need to read the fine print and understand how the whole thing works. By simply plugging it in, you become part of the technology, which can ensure the huge sales of the company for sure. As for the creation of the company's blockchain, it's the next big leap or step for the company. The company has created a token it's based on another blockchain, Binance blockchain. And when the company creates its own in-house blockchain, which is even better, faster, and more secure, it can create additional opportunities for other IT developers who want to create their own tokens on a faster blockchain like DexNet blockchain, which can definitely attract additional resources, people, IT specialists. And here we can create special tokens for games, economic tokens, specialized company tokens, companies who tokenize their sales, for instance. That might be quite an interesting business proposal. So they start and take off. We keep sitting on the edge of our seats, thinking that now we're going to have a blast like a rocket. And that will, of course, lead to the increase in the token price. Thank you, Sergey. What I can add here myself is the earlier you buy the DexNode, the more tokens you can accumulate. And how this token is going to be priced, how much it can increase your investments and original capital, I'll answer later. I see that in chat we have not only people who are already proud owners of DexNodes, but also the people who are here for the first time and know nothing about this project. For such people, we organized a full-fledged presentation with the description of the founding fathers, where the company is registered, why the government of the United Arab Emirates supports this technology, who invested and how much out of which investors into this technology. But we do not offer regular guys to invest into this technology. We have no problems with investments. We have raised all the funds we wanted, and all the funds are available to our big and burgeoning business. How do I put it? The big wheel is already on the move. Mikhail, you wanted to add something? Over to you. Yes, you sidetracked to that, and I wanted to return back to the original subject that we were discussing, and I would like to use a metaphor that will show people or showcase to people what DexNode is all about. All of us are well aware of cell networks. You know, DexNode is also connected to cell networks, and they're connected to telecom operators' towers. They belong to regular telecom companies, but they are not provided to an individual user. And I don't think any individual user will be able to afford to erect a big tower to distribute this communication flows. But DexNode, as a device, consider it like a telecom tower, the same but smaller, like in this telecom towers that you see all over the city, which are now available for any human being. Any person, through buying into this equipment, can own this assets that create internet and provide access to different resources. And for that, you get paid by the company. You become like a real partner of a telecom business. Yes, I would also like to add here that DexNode is not a mining technology, not in theory, not in practice, because mining is when you create pieces of cryptocurrency. These are some computation operations for which you get your reward. Here it works differently. All the tokens have already been issued. They're just distributed among the owners of DexNodes who buy into the technology. We'll talk about it at length a bit later. There is no mining. DexNode does not consume a huge amount of power. It consumes 4 times less power than a powered iPhone. It does need special cooling device. You just put it on your windowsill or wherever you want, and you see in your office how in your personal cabinet in the screen how the number of your tokens keeps growing. And while I mentioned iPhone, you can compare it to an iPhone, because its price, if you put it together with the customs clearance, delivery, DexNode hardware and software all together, it costs less than 1800 USDT. If you compare to an iPhone, a new iPhone released costs about the same. 16th iPhone is going to be priced even higher than $2,000. But an iPhone plugged into a wall outlet doesn't earn you any money, right? Of course, if you don't have an installed DexNode application there, then if you install it there, then any Android or iPhone device will make you money. But the price of an iPhone and DexNode are more or less the same. But DexNode can generate huge wealth for you. iPhone can do that only if you know how to use it properly. Sergey, Mikhail, you can add something if you want to. Yes, indeed, Dmitry, very good comparison. Indeed, an iPhone can help you make money, but DexNode is making money for you. It needs no assistance from you. It's doing all the job for you as part of this company business. It's a very good feeling knowing that you're asleep and you're making money. You're having a rest, you're on vacation, and the DexNode device is making money for you. This is something that buying a device like this can help you with. Often I'm asked a question, what specifically for me as a living person this DexNode can give me? That's a frequently asked question. I'm telling them that this device supports the work of a DexNet network. Try to imagine that there's a data center or Google storage server bank that different companies, huge companies have. They have a big room with thousands of servers. Here, this DexNode can be considered like a server with some memory bank inside, and these pieces of device are united all over the world into a single server room. Every person who buys a DEX node, they support the operation of this network, and they help this network to ramify itself and increase and grow. And for that, you get a reward, and for that, you get credited tokens and access to super high quality services. And we'll talk about them, I'm sure, today. Yes, thank you for your valuable additions. I didn't answer all the questions that I see in the chat. If you don't have full information, you must watch our presentations. Our presentations are done every Wednesday for the whole year. We haven't missed a single Wednesday. So this Wednesday, we're going to have an online presentation as well. Please come and watch it. You'll get all the answers, all the questions answered there. And now we have just given you a brief summary about this device. We wanted to do it briefly, although it took a while to do that. If you don't know where to get the link to the presentation, to the recording of the presentation, approach the person owing to whom you're here with us today, or if you came here through the automation bot, through Telegram, click on Get a Consultation in the menu, and you will find yourself in the personal cabinet of the person who provided you with a link to this webinar. Moving on now, we have much more technical, mathematical, and economic information for you. I've already mentioned about our own in-house blockchain, but on this slide, there's an important button. December 15th, 2024, we're going to have a full-fledged startup of launch of our own blockchain. We're already testing it, and the game, which is going to be launched in a couple of weeks, is going to showcase the sheer potential of this blockchain. Nobody else has done it in the beginning. The number of the millions of initial users who will be using that game will be playing that game, and they will be constantly creating small microtransactions that will demonstrate the sheer speed of that blockchain. The game is done specifically for test, but it's so interesting with such great gifts and awards that it will be simply impossible to ignore it. Moreover, it has full free of charge access. Next, tokenomics of the DexNet company. Tokenomics is a financial model like in economics for real money, and tokenomics is economics for digital assets. Those companies who have tokenized their assets, who have released certain number of tokens, have linked them to real value of their products. These companies have tokenomics, a financial model, a roadmap for their development, and all the mathematical formula that they pay money or reward their clients. And here you can see one of the most important slides of the DexNet Tokenomics, the distribution of the rewards through pools. For that, you need to understand that we have released a total of 3 billion tokens of DexNet. A total, it means that there will be released no more. We'll always have limited number of tokens on the market, like the gold in as earth deposits. You have it as much as you have it in the land, in the earth, and the gold is mined and extracted, and its price increases and grows. In the same manner, you need to understand why the price of the token is going to grow. Why? Because of the huge ramified infrastructure. And all these 3 billion tokens, one way or another, are going to be circulated on the market. People are going to use them to pay for services. People are going to get them in return for the installed DEX node. People will get them through the DexPoint application from different games, from different services of third-party services. They will exchange them. They will give them to each other. They will sell them on the market. The circulation of tokens on the market is going to be constant, permanent, with ever-increasing speed and ever-increasing circulation. Now, I'm going to mention the listing as well. These 3 million tokens, how are they distributed? Please watch the screen very attentively. In the very beginning, when tokenomics of any company starts, the company allocates certain amount, the so-called private sale. It is done before the official release of the company to attract investors who are going to support financially this technology, to pay salaries to the IT guys and for the promotion budget and other things. Here, the private sale was completed with a zero of spent tokens. Which means what? It means that if somebody enters the company at the private round, that person becomes a whale. A whale is an investor or shareholder who can affect the price of token in future by selling it at a very inconvenient moment in time for the company, by crushing the price of token because selling a huge amount right away. Here you can ask us, are there whales who can affect the price of the token in future? Now I've communicated with the founder of the technology, with all the shareholders in the course of 2 hours. And once again, although I knew the answer to that question, I specifically asked the same question again. Are there DexNet token whales? And I received one simple, unequivocal answer. There are no whales, and there will be no whales for DexNet token, because the company organized in such way that there was a private round, that there were no whales, and they started to move forward using their own resources. In this way, the private round is yet another additional piece of assets of the company, which is going to be used for different marketing stories. In other words, users are going to get access to that pool, to that private sale pool, which is a total of 200 million tokens. One way or another, the company is going to use it by supporting the price of the token on the market. Second, market mating pool, pool here, which is allocated to promote the token at exchanges where token is listed. Here we have a total of 13.3% from 3 billion tokens. That would be exactly 400 million users, tokens. And pool number 3, something which would be of interest, first of all, for the person who bought a DexNode. That would be 2 billion tokens, the biggest, tastiest bit and allocation, almost 67% of all the tokens. So this 2 billion are split into 3 parts. 1 billion goes for rewards to all the owners of DEX nodes for plugging in their DEX nodes. To keep it plugged in, the more DEX nodes you have, the more tokens you will be credited. The earlier you buy into DEX node, the bigger number of tokens you will get access to. On the next slide, you will see in greater detail how this 1 billion tokens is distributed. Second billion of tokens is subdivided into 2 parts. Both of them go into staking. Staking means when you give your tokens for storage to the company, the tokens that you bought or you were credited, you give them back to the company for a certain period. For 3 to 48 months, we have different periods of staking, and for blocking your tokens for a certain period of time, for not selling it on the market, for not crushing the exchange rate of the token, for that you get rewarded special interest rate. And the interest rate is paid from one of these pools, and it's called staking. There are 2 types of staking. First type of staking, staking for DEX nodes. If you own a DEX node, it earns you tokens. 50% of all the earned DEX nodes you are obliged to put in staking, not to crush the price of token on the market. And second type of staking, that staking hasn't started yet. It is available for those people who buy DEX tokens on an exchange. If you buy a DEX token without even owning a DEX node, you will be able to put it in staking as long as it is launched, but it's not going to be as profitable as the staking from the tokens earned by DEX node owners. So if you understand this, give us your plus signs in the chat box. Marketing pool is something that we use for the promotion, not within the exchange, but externally for promotional instruments externally. For instance, now, when DEX nodes were being shipped to their owners, the company decided to start crediting them tokens independent of whether they have received their DEX notes or not. So these tokens were taken from the marketing pool, and that pool is 200 million tokens, also quite significant amount. Team is the team of DexNet, including program developers, key people, and top management who are rewarded from this pool depending on the decision of our leadership. Regular users have no access to this pool. That's all. And these 5 pools that we have here that I've gone through, all of them together make an amount of 3 billion tokens, and there will be no more tokens released, only 3 billion tokens, not 1 token more. Mikhail, do you have anything to add to what I've just said? Yes, with pleasure. But a bit later we're going to discuss it. You mentioned the second and the third pool. Second pool is going to be used quite sparingly by the company. It's going to be used for other purposes, not only for the actual marketing or promotion. I'll discuss it a bit later and show you how and why it is done. Another thing, please look at here, the cliff here. In 36 months only, the company will get access to this 200 million tokens. The cliff will be 36 months, and after that, they won't get access to all 200 million tokens right away, but incrementally in the course of 12 months. What does it mean? It means that the company itself will get their tokens only when, in 3 years' time, actually, and they will start getting it in equal increments in the course of 12 months. In the beginning, not like they want to get all the tokens right away, but initially they first do their job well, then they will get these tokens credited later. Why? Because their main task is not to get as much as possible on the market right away, but rather create and develop a company that is going to be a moneymaker for everybody. If you compare it to gold as a resource, gold is mined, it's being increased in number, but its main value is that it's, of course, there's value. You can make jewelry out of it, but it's not the best thing you can use it. The biggest value of gold is used in different devices. And in the same manner here, this token, its popularity is going to grow depending on how many services are going to be launched. The more services will be launched, the more tokens those people will require. It will be like the natural circulation of things, circulation of tokens in the world. They will come from some people to other people, and those people who will accumulate enough of those tokens and who will be staking them, getting interest rates. I think you mentioned the maximum staking is not 48 months, but 36 months, and 36 months will give you 60% annual interest rate. And think about it. Staking will guarantee you 60% of interest rate. But in the staking, I believe you need to count the return, not like this, like 60% annual rate of return. Comparing to other financial instruments, we compare whether other instruments will get you 60% or not. It's something which is written into a smart contract. I will get the 60% for sure. But here in tokenomics, you must look into the value of the token in the beginning when you put it in a staking, and the value of token that the token will increase into after 6 months. In other words, in tokens, I will get my 60% rate of return in tokens, but the price of token will increase, so it will be much more than 60% in nominal value. No, actually, I wasn't wrong about 36 and 48 months. I jumped ahead of myself, actually. Let's leave it as a slip of my tongue. Okay, then it's great. It's a great piece of news for me as well. And what else I wanted to say, but actually you stole my thunder. That piece of news really shocked me. What else can you add, Sergey? I can add one thing, that these 3 billion tokens have already been mined. They are created. but they are not on the market. You need to understand that they are not on the market. They're gradually distributed only through the DEX node devices, and the owners of DEX nodes are going to put them in staking. And as a rule, everybody who I talk to, I personally put it into the maximum staking period of 36 months. So these tokens are frozen and they were going to be released only in 3 years' time. So it turns out that the market doesn't have that many tokens, so it will create additional create additional value and demand for tokens with time, and will push the price of token upwards. And what Mikhail spoke about, the cliff and frozen tokens, those tokens stored or set aside for the team, they're also frozen and they are going to be released on the market only in 3 years' time. In 3 years' time, the company can create tens and dozens and hundreds of services aside from which we have already mentioned, and they will create huge demand for that. And because these services are going to be paid with DEX tokens, aside from launching the services, and the launch of our own blockchain is going to happen this year already, is going to attract a huge number of third-party developers who will want to deploy their games and create their coins there. Our token works on Binance now, Binance Smart Chain, which is a blockchain created by crypto exchange Binance, trying to popularize their capacities for other clients. But on that blockchain, many other companies have launched their tokens, including DexNet. But in order to turn from token into a real coin, we create our own blockchain, and there we'll create tokens for different other companies, projects, and so on and so forth. And that will attract a huge number of developers. If we look at the development of, say, Binance or Ethereum, and if we look at their price in the beginning and their price now, BNB coin is what, $600, something like that, and Ethereum is about $3,000, and everything was starting from zero, from the creation of blockchain, from the value of just few dollar cents, nothing really. So the growth prospect is huge. And here, I would like to draw the attention of people who are the novices here in the crypto world. And perhaps some of them have ideas in their head. Okay, there are some 3 guys talking about something here. I've seen such guys before, and maybe they're trying to cheat or deceive us. The whole system, for you to understand, is ensured by smart contract. The conditions of the smart contract cannot be bent or changed. It's not like we're telling you about one set of rules and then we change it totally. Everything is described in a smart contract. A smart contract is something unbendable, unchangeable. The way it is written there, it is going to distribute, and there is no other way to do it differently. So it's a very foolproof system. And new blockchains is like a new bank, a new financial system. The banks which are going to replace the regular brick and mortar banks. No loan agreements or contracts are going to be needed anymore. This percentage are clear and understandable. People are going to use this virtual smart contracts in future, which is much more secure than this financial system that we have now. Yes, blockchains and smart contracts are becoming ever more so popular. They're being mainstreamed in medical and insurance companies and big federal banks and many educational companies. It's happening everywhere because it creates more credibility between the client and the provider of a service or goods. So smart contract is the contract whose conditions cannot be changed. Once written, once agreed on, nothing can be done about that. That's why Mikhail was right when he said that it's super secure. That's what our people need to understand who are novices in crypto business. Okay, let's move on. Everything that we've just described to you would have inspired a very interesting question, like, can I simply buy this token, or it is going to happen only after some time in future? Already, ever since November 2023, even a few days before the official launch of the company DexNet token was already released on the market, and not anywhere but on one of the top 20 largest cryptocurrency exchanges. This is Hong Kong exchange XT.com with 6 million clients with huge circulation and turnover. And personally, vice president of that exchange came to the office, Dubai office of DexNet, signing the agreement to create the promotion for this token, because after seeing the capacity and the potential of that technology, he became the client of our company himself, and he put his trust into us, seeing in terms of cryptocurrency what huge potential that token has. Here you can see the trade pair, the time and date of the listing on the exchange. You can use this link, get registered on the exchange. But now, aside from this token being traded on the exchange, there is a question, why only one exchange? Initially, there was a question, why don't you trade it? We do trade it. There it's being traded. Then the next question, why do you trade it only one exchange? In fact, only one exchange, which is top 20 exchanges, which provides access to the market, both to the client as a buyer and the seller. You can freely buy and sell your token on XT.com exchange without any registration, verification for the amount of up to $50,000. You don't need to show your passport there. That's why we have selected that exchange, because it provides very convenient conditions for its clients. But that exchange became only the first in the portfolio of the company out of the public exchanges. Later, we're going to sign contracts with other exchanges. We're already signing contract with yet another, even bigger exchanges, which is not top 20, but smaller one. And you're going to learn about it before the end of this month. Maybe, it's no guarantee, but there is a high probability that we're going to sign a new contract with a new exchange. This is the question which we get asked very often. Why only XT.com? When Sergey, you unmute yourself, I understand you have something to share, so I give you the floor. Yes. Here I would like to draw your attention to one thing. What Dmitry has already mentioned, that indeed there is a seller and a buyer, so this exchange can be done virtually. Why companies approach tier 1, tier 2 exchanges? It's like a promotional thing for the company, because the exchange also promotes a token, and through that promotion or advertisement, they attract more attention to themselves. I would also draw your attention to the game to be released very soon. All the companies are fighting for the attention of people, their potential clients, and there is some promotional budget, and that promotion budget can be different, of course, value-wise. How much would be this budget? They're called leads. That's a person whose attention is drawn to that. There can be TV advertisement or TV commercials. Through the exchange, you can also get listed and get advertisement for yourself, and that costs money, because any exchange will charge for this. But why give money to some other exchanges who ask for money when you give it away to partners? And partners will be much more efficient than exchanges. See, here we're having a sit down discussing these ideas with you to get you educated, and then these exchanges will get to us, because the community will grow. We become interesting for the exchanges, and exchanges come and approach us to asking us and begging us to be listed there, because they want us, not we want them. So of course I can transfer it or convert it to money, but it's true not only for XT.com. I know that Sergey has prepared this announcement. I'm not going to steal his intellectual thunder here. He's going to tell us where else you can do the exchange, but actually you can do it not only on that exchange, but the main idea is that you can freely sell and buy it, but we're not wasting our promotional budget simply like that. Instead, we provide this great opportunity for our promoters to make money, and this game is also a great promotional stunt for us. For this relatively small budget, we can share this information with huge number of people. A bit later, we'll talk about it, of course. It's like free of charge advertisement. Not totally free of charge, of course, but it's quite inexpensive, uncostly advertisement budget, which means that the company is very wise in spending its money. And money saved is money earned. And we work in the company, or rather with the company in partnership, which builds very good financial model. It means that we'll be on the market for many, many years to come. Yes, I forgot to mention that token at the moment of the listing cost 1 cent. Now it's traded at the cost of 4 cents. This night, there was a huge crash of the whole crypto market. And once again, we were quite happy about our token because it stayed. Some tokens dropped by 20%, and we dropped only by 4-5%. And we are in the very beginning of its growth, independent of the fact that it has made 4x already from the moment of its start. Still, we see huge potential. Maybe it hasn't earned too much attention yet. You're among the first who learn about it with the launch of the game in a few months, in a few weeks. I'm sorry, maybe in 7 days or something. I expect you will see the real growth. I don't guarantee anything, but there is good reason to believe in it. I would also add here, under what conditions this token has grown fourfold, because there are certain conditions for that, because the owners of DEX nodes get in huge amounts their tokens, and in theory, this token should flood the market, and where there's huge supply, under this adverse condition, we still get fourfold increase in its price. It means that we have very wise community who understand the value of token. They don't want to sell it too early. And when Dmitry mentioned that there is a potential staking for 48 months, yesterday I put my block for 36 months, and now I'm quite disgruntled because otherwise I would have put it for 48 months for staking. Why? Because I'm using this strategy for the creation of my wealth, my capital, and I'm more interested in long-term maximum profitable strategy to get as many tokens as possible at the end. And many partners of the company understand this idea. They understand that they should go on the fence, take on the waiting strategy, because one of the partners called Maya she did a calculation of the growth of token for Binance exchange. They started with this cents, and now their token costs $580 in just a few years. But in fact, what do they provide? Just an exchange. It's just an exchange. You can exchange your tokens there. That's it. But here we provide so many services. They're so great that you can have all the reasons to believe that in a few years you will get the same price point of your token, maybe even higher than that. Everybody who heard about 48 months, please forget about this. Don't mention anyone about this because there is no official information about this yet. Okay, officially it's only 36 months for staking. That's it. Just don't miss any additional announcements because we're preparing really great announcements that I have some inside information, but I'm prohibited to share it too early. You can't even imagine what kind of pieces of news we're preparing to share that will increase your capitals multifold. I would love to share this information with you, but I cannot. I simply am prohibited to do that. Another thing I can share with you is that yesterday I invited a person to today's webinar. Before that, that person did know about that, but he knew that I'm dealing with these matters. Now he sent me a message. I would like to read it to you. Hello, dear friend. I would like to thank you for inviting me to this webinar. Now, please give me information how to buy this outstanding product. Unfortunately, I cannot sit until the end of the webinar, but what I have learned from the beginning is enough for me to make this decision. Although he was not at the presentation, he immediately made a decision for himself. In just what we are online, we haven't been in live conversation with him in just less than an hour. See, the winners smell their money, but it's only the very beginning of the smell of the money. It's still covered. Next, Sergey, you just wanted to provide the additional feedback. Yes, I wanted to make another comment because our company already has a ready-to-use product, DexSafe. It's like a crypto wallet where people can store their tokens, also buy and sell their tokens through it. How does it work? It's not the company itself which does the exchange, or rather the company developed a wallet with connected to two decentralized exchanges, Pancake Swap exchange. Those people who know about cryptocurrencies have heard about this, and 1inch. 1inch is yet another DEX exchange where you can enter the wallet, click on the button exchange, and do that exchange on that exchange. No need to be verified or registered anywhere. Another thing to add about the token and the wallet, those exchanges which are going to appear in future, and I'm sure we'll have many more of them in future, they will give us a huge boost for the development, for new sales, new volumes. That will definitely attract new users and new traders who will start paying attention. The ones who are not even yet using services, they're just traded on the exchanges, and usually initially there's a big volatility. People start buying tokens when a new exchange goes on the market. Yes, we are preparing our new exchange. Yes, we're preparing a new exchange aside from using the exchanges which already are pre-existent. We're going to launch our own in-house exchange. It's almost ready. Please follow the news and official announcements. And now, the fact that instead of listing, we give the money to our partners, not instead, but rather along with the listing, we give a significant portion of tokens to our partners. The ones who own nodes, Alexander has just launched a small flash mob. I own 5 black DEX nodes. Please write how many DEX nodes you own. If you don't own anything, write 0. I see Sergey shows 5 fingers on one hand. Mikhail also shows 5 fingers on one hand. Out of them, 4 are available, 4 nodes already installed. 5th one is being pre-installed, right? In spite of the fact that I've been in from the beginning of this business, I yesterday once again bought another DEX node for myself. I want more. Somebody's writing 2 nodes, 0, 1, 3. I'm buying 1. I'm looking at 1, thinking about the second, and have ideas about the third. Somebody already owns 7. 1. I know a person who owns 100 DEX nodes. And it's not only one person, actually. I know that we're preparing transactions for a total of 300 DEX nodes. I know 2 transactions prepared for 500 DEX nodes each. I mean, that would be 3 different guys buying 300, 500, and 500 DEX nodes. People with money can afford it. If you don't have this kind of capital or would like to own so much assets, welcome to our partnership program of DEX Freedom. Our partners, as I mentioned previously, last year made over $1 million, and every month their revenues grow. You just need to get into our turnkey full automation business where you will learn from scratch how to make really good money in the partnership program. Be with us, be with our very dynamically developing community, and you will be able to afford everything. Travel, DEX nodes, services, whatever you want. Somebody is imagining buying into the 4th node. What is the price of DEX node today? I will answer this question once again. DEX node itself costs $145. Yeah, this is the hardware, like this, the device. But it's not enough to buy it, and it's impossible to buy it for $145. First, you buy a key, activation key, which is the software for 1500 USDT. You do it with the DEX Freedom. After that, you get a promo code, which you will be able to buy that activation key only through the personal link of the person who invited you to today's webinar. You buy it for 1500, you get a promo code, you go to DexNet site where you can order, owing to that promo code, the DEX node device for 145. That would be 1,650. And the customs clearance and delivery takes from $50 to $150 depending on remoteness and the method of acquisition of the DEX node. It might be totally free for you if you come to the Dubai office or our office in India and collect your DEX node personally there. Then you won't have to pay anything for the delivery. I hope I've answered your question. Can I buy the box for 145? Yes, but only after buying the license activation key for 1500, because the box without the activation key won't be operational, because the box itself doesn't cost 145. It is sold together in tandem with the activation key. To work with social media right to support, and we'll see what can be done about that. Moving on, before I skipped too far ahead, there must be, yes, this slide. I wanted to show you this. Look, here we have the diagram of the remuneration or crediting of tokens for those people who bought the DEX node. DEX node started in June, and we have a total of 60 blocks. For one block, we have maximum 1 month for distribution. Each block has a certain number of millions of tokens. For instance, the first block had 30 million, 1 million, 500 million, but these millions have already been distributed among those people who bought into DEX node earlier than you. If you buy the DEX node right away, right today, you get connected to block number 4. It started only yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and 10 million tokens are going to be distributed among different devices. Up to 3,500 tokens you'll be able to get if you get connected to block number 4. Up to, not exactly 3,500, under 3,500, because you need to activate it and plug it in. Up to 116 tokens per day with top quality internet, with constant powering, you'll be able to get until the end of block number 4. With the block number 4 gone, block number 5 starts. Block is like a pool. It's like a basket of tokens with 10 million tokens there. As soon as it distributes all the tokens, it's over, and the next basket opens, starts distributing. And it is distributed among all the holders of DEX node depending on the quality of their internet connection. Max, in the right column, you can see maximum what you can earn per one node per day. A person can get an unlimited number of DEX nodes, but I will talk about it at our full presentation on Wednesday. Here, another thing to remember, also very important. All these blocks that you can see here, we have a total of 60 of them. You see the first 24 here. All these blocks or pools or baskets, a maximum 1 pool per month. The first 3 blocks took about 20 days to do it, and we're jumping ahead of ourselves. And next, this situation is going to be to even out, and there will be more tokens left in the block after 30 days run out. What does it mean? It means that these tokens, which haven't been distributed in 30 days out of that block, out of the block, say 5, 10, whatever block it is, they will be resubmitted to the reserve pool of the company. They will be accumulated there, and they will be credited during one of the cases or events. I'm not going to tell you when, but on August 13th at the webinar by DexNet, you will be able to learn more about it. In other words, what is your main advantage? The earlier you buy into DexNode, to the earlier block you get connected, the more tokens you'll be able to accumulate, not to mine, because there is no mining, I remind you. And you will get access to that reserve pool of undistributed tokens among these tokens in the next 30 days, then next 30 days, then another portion of 30 days. How do you find this information? I've mentioned it for the first time. Just give me a number of 1 to 10. 10 means that you enjoy it the most, 1 you didn't really like it. What sense to buy into tokens right now instead of buying tokens for this amount? It's our favorite question, actually. If you're attentive listening to us, some of the answers have already been acquired by you, and it already should make it self-evident that buying into DexNode is much more profitable than buying tokens. We have prepared it one of the following slides, actually. You'll get your question answered at one of the following slides. When Mikhail and Sergey, when you unmute yourself, I understand that you have something to share. Yes, Dmitry. What I would have added here on this slide, we can see the distribution of tokens for the early start. This is the early start distribution. The early adopters get more out of this. These tokens are distributed for the quick understanding, for quick buying into the partnership, for these things. It's like a reward, but this is not the most important thing. You should see the general idea. That's the idea why you buy the DexNode. You can buy your your tokens once, you sell them once. But here you buy into a device which can indefinitely earn you tokens. The more DexNodes you buy, the more DexNodes are bought up by people, the less companies motivated to reward people for that, because there will be enough DexNodes distributed all over the world. But when services are going to be distributed, we'll start getting awards, or rather we'll get rewards in the amount of 40% from all the profit of the company, profit from the services sold. This is just the beginning. This is something that we originally got for the early start. The earlier you make the decision to buy into it, the more you will get. But it doesn't mean that at the month 2021 you get only 15 tokens per day. It doesn't make sense. But then quick start is over. After that, you stop getting credited more, and then 60 blocks will run out. What it means that there's no point in buying a new DexNode? Not at all, because after that the company will get the profit, and this profit is equally distributed among all the DexNode owners, and it will be a return process. This amount of rewards are going to run out or trickle out, but the number of rewards for buying into services, the cut from the profit from selling the services is going to be distributed among the DexNode owners. So buying into DexNode is much more profitable than buying Dex tokens. I'm actually quite confused what kind of information I can release, which I should not mention. I have one thing to add about tokens. This question is asked quite frequently, like what makes more sense to buy tokens or DexNode. We spoke about services, that this distribution is calculated by tokenomics. Here we have a limited number of tokens in each block, and they're going to be equally distributed. The number of DexNodes is going to increase, and each DexNode is going to have less number of distributed tokens. But as of block 24, as soon as it runs out, we'll start distributing the rewards or profits of the company for selling all the services. And just yesterday, a new piece of news was released that's not going to be to start with block 24, but much earlier than that. I can tell you that after working with numbers, you know what? I'm going to reveal a secret to you: how much money is going to be distributed by company among the owners of DexNodes, aside from what you can see in this table. And I've looked into it. 3 services that we already have, which are going to be released very soon. I'm not even considering the game here, like cloud, DexNet Cloud Storage, Dex Cloud Storage. I looked at the global review, what will be the potential turnover of the service, what companies offer it, like Amazon, Google, Yandex, and others. All of them provide cloud storage services. So the revenues this year, global revenues this year from this such virtual clouds will be by the end of the year $117 billion US. This is the saturation of the market. And by 2029, according to the Internet Analytics, $343 billion US. And this is only the market of cloud storage. If the company could carve out for itself only 1% of this market, it will get it $3.5 billion US. Can I add one thing, Sergey? You have done a comparative analysis here with the companies who offer cloud storage, but for the client who bought this cloud storage, they, how do I put it, they create storage for that information which is not totally secure. That information is stored on their service. It does mean it's no cloud really, on their hard disks, hard drives, and on their service. When a person buys this cloud storage, in other words, they sign off that information to the company, and that company can use that information or share it with the regulators or use some promotional campaign based on that person, use it as a cannon fodder, or they can lose or burn that information, and that information can lose its service when they're raided by the government of a given country, because they're private companies. And our main competitive difference of DexCloud is that we do not store this data on the service of any third-party company. We store it on the distributed network of DEX nodes, which don't have a central server room. That's why you need to buy into this DEX node devices, because without DEX nodes, the storage amount is not going to increase. Your DEX nodes store in an encrypted manner one of the 5 copies of the bits of file of any company or user from any place in the world, and nobody knows which piece of fraction information you have. Only people who uploaded that file can download it back and get access to it on their device, having access to their DEX cloud application. Yes, indeed, Dmitry, this technology allows people to store this information this way, which is yet another proof that the share of the market is going to increase. DexNet, DexCloud can carve out for itself much more than 1% of that market. And you understand, if the company will distribute 40% of that profit, it will be about almost $1 billion that will be distributed among all the owners. Speaking about eSIM, for instance, it's also potentially going to show huge indicators. Now this eSIM market volume is assessed at the level of 10 billion. It's going to increase even greater than that with future. People are more prone to use eSIMs now. And there the market volume can create returns up to $100 million per year easily. I also looked into DexSafe, our application, and crypto cards. Maybe some people don't know about these services. You will learn about them at another webinar. So the users of crypto cards all over the world, there are numerous, and to get 1 million users who are going to buy this virtual card and they use their money in a shop, again, in a year and a half, we'll have many more clients and users using our virtual card. And remember that we're going to launch the game that will create the demand, mass adoption, I like this word, for all these services and games, and that will generate new type of returns for the company. And we will provide this cloud storage to people, and we'll be able to get much more rewards than is shown on this table. You know what? I have Vladimir Zhirinovsky speaking in my head, who keeps telling me, are you crazy? Are you mad? Is it really true? In fact, I'm going to ask you some questions. Just think about those questions. If those companies offer you a service which is less protected, less secure, do you think people are going to convert into better conditions? And why only 1%? 1%. I'm really outraged about this. 1%. No, I'm sure that more people are going to convert to our company because they will find it more interesting. This is one thing I wanted to overview. And second thing about the profits of the company. All these data centers, they need first invest their money into buying the hardware. They buy the hardware they need to get their investment returned. First thing. Secondly, they need to pay for the room rent, pay for the wages of the people who are serving their servers, they pay their power bills, the equipment becomes obsolete, they have huge costs. But DexNet company has no costs. We buy these devices, you buy these devices, we plug them into power outlet. It's all over the world. The profit will be much greater. That's how we can provide much more appealing conditions compared to our competition. And the number of people who will be users of this, we cannot even be thinking about 1%. It's too low. But back to what Sergey already calculated, even if it is 1%, it will be 3 billion profit, right? But if we consider this 3 billion profit will be made on 1 million, and on 1 million DEX nodes, we make 3 billion on 1 million DEX nodes. Now consider 40% from 3 billion, that would be 1 billion 200 million. 1 billion 200 million can be divided by 1 million DEX nodes. Calculate how much you will get per one DEX node. How much you will get one DEX node out of one service only. That's the answer to your question, what is better to buy, a token or a DEX node? This is an answer to your question. You will see. It's quite self-evident. Dmitry, I'm sorry, I mentioned 1% only because even if 1%, you're very unambitious. It's a minimum plan. It's absolutely minimum. If we're not going to tell anybody, if we will sign a non-disclosure agreement, and still, I'm sure we'll have 1% of the market. Why? Because people will learn it through the grapevine, and through that game that we're going to release soon, a huge number of people will learn about it. And they will understand that it's much better to use it like with the washing detergent. Why pay more for other products if I can buy this less expensive one? So they have developed this thing for us, and now on the same field we can get the huge capitalization. I wouldn't say that you're too pessimistic, but you're too accurate. I don't want to drive people crazy right away. That's why I mentioned this absolute minimum of 3 billion per year. It's an absolute minimum. We're talking about 3 services only, and there can be many more of them, like 8 of them here. And if there are services from third-party users, can be musical services, video hosting, you name it. All sorts of other new games that can be a market with tens and hundreds of millions of capitalization. And the services are going to be launched this month. Yes, DexSafe has already been launched. I just don't know how many users of DexSafe we have, how many people bought the virtual bank cards. It's still being tested. People have used the cards. They see that it works. I personally was paying with this card in Dubai. Many people have tested in Thailand, Turkey, everywhere, aside from the sanctioned countries. They work everywhere. Also, eSIM cards. eSIM cards work in Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, everywhere. And users buy this traffic no matter how much they need, they buy it. The average traffic, if we multiply it by the number of users, like 1 million subscribers, you can calculate yourself, that can be hundreds of millions of dollars per month. I can't even imagine how much money gaming services can make us, because these gaming services, they break all the records, and they have prize funds in billions already. Forget about their revenues. So we as users who provide our hardware capacities to the company will get a cut out of the profit of the company. It still makes sense for the company to share this profit with us, for us to maintain this operational network, because the company works at the cost of the distribution of these devices, because they cannot put it into a single hangar, because it's no longer going to be decentralized. But owing to our users, to you, it works. Another thing, what what is the general idea of buying into this DEX token? Or those people who buy DEX tokens get nothing out of it. They are just speculators who make money on the increase of the price of the DEX token. But the practice shows that yes, you can make money on this. It's good without having, say, $2,000, $1,500. You can buy tokens for $200, $300. Wait until it grows. You can put it in staking. You can accumulate money until you have enough to buy DEX node. But speculators have one problem. Today, the market has dropped by, some tokens have dropped by 30, 40%. Try to imagine you bought some tokens like Bitcoins, something else, and you want them to grow twofold. You then buy DEX node. But the market went different way. And psychologically, people cannot sustain the pressure. They cannot keep these tokens, and they will simply sell them out. And DEX nodes are like a factory making more tokens for you. It just stays in your corner making, earning tokens. And no matter what happens on the market, they will earn more and more tokens. And additionally, some part of the profit that the company makes. Another thing to add, can I make one comment, please? When I spoke about the services, I forgot to mention that DexSafe is not simply a crypto wallet. It's a crypto wallet with very broad functionality. You can download it and order a crypto card. If you use a promo code of a person who told you about DexNet company, this crypto card will be sold to you at the discount rate of 20%, which is very good. If you will take this promo code and will pay not in USDT but in tokens, you will get another 20% discount. So you need to get a promo code from the person who has invited you. You will get a crypto card that will be connected to MasterCard, and you will be able to use it in different countries. Having this card, I paid with that already in Thailand in bahts, local currency, in China in yuans. Any shops using only one card, I simply put my cell phone to the terminal. If they support that technology, if they accept MasterCard, you get your goods paid with that card and you collect it USDT. It's very convenient. One person asked me, can I buy a car? I just bought a bottle of water. Can I buy a car using your USDT without showing your revenues, personal income? Yes, up to certain amount of money per day you can do these transactions. If you will pay it in increments in a few days, you can buy a car with a card. For one transaction, you pay only 25 cents. It doesn't matter whether you buy a bottle of water or a car. 25 cents and you leave the shop happy, no matter what country you're in. Actually, at airports, I also paid with a card in China and Thailand. Again, the payment is done in euros or dollars, depending on the airport. But most importantly, it works there as well. Quite well, actually. Another small addition, if I may. I just entered my DexSafe and saw there a separate section and partnership program, and I see the number of credited amounts in tokens and USDT, and I was quite happy. That's another opportunity to make more money on that partnership program, which is inbuilt into the DexSafe wallet. Yes, very good function. If you count it, if you tell 3 people, there are 21 levels. If you tell 3 people about this and they did the same, then on the planet Earth, there is not enough people living that you can cover like this easily. Another thing about Dex Mobile that I wanted to share. When you use Dex Mobile, you no longer need such thing as VPN or other things. And these are the things that also make you pay money to the market. When you don't need to switch from one device to another, it creates more convenience for you. People will buy the services for sure because they make their life more convenient. You don't need to switch from one device to another, and will carve into other people's business. And if people need a stable internet for their DEX nodes to keep working stably, to keep being credited with tokens, they will surely select Dex Mobile and will put in also uninterrupted power supply device for their not to be dependent on either poor quality internet or their power company. Will it happen like this? I'm sure it will, because we already see that everywhere there is no country in the world which wouldn't have experienced a power outage. People panic out of this if people don't think beforehand about the future. If they don't provide themselves with power and internet, then nobody else will do it for you. You have to think about it yourself. That's why Dex Mobile will be immensely popular. We're telling you very briefly about these services. Actually, we will prepare a separate dedicated presentation about each one of these services that will provide full information about these tariffs, commissions, methods of payment, potential, feedback, proofs, everything. We're preparing this information for our users, and I would like to remind you that now we have almost 300 people, just 300 people at today's meeting. But it means what it means, and it makes us happy because these 300 people already know about it. And if they will use it, then all others who will learn about it will come after them. And the first 300 will start making money off of them. Many people start having some second thoughts, like this multi-level partnership program. We have seen how it works in Oriflame and other things. Yes, maybe this caveat would have made sense before, but now it makes no sense. Why? Because, for instance, Alpha Bank, one of the largest banks in Russia, have launched the full-fledged multi-level partnership program, which has attracted many, many people. It took them a while to understand this partnership program appeal, but their successful experience, and actually before that they looked at Bars Bank from Kazakhstan, who launched it earlier than that. They were the first bank in Russia who launched this multi-level partnership program. Next, the successful experience of Alpha Bank with all its resources invested into promotion of its products through multi-level partnership program. The company Yandex became interested, and you know what they did? Exactly. They have launched their own multi-level partnership program. Two major best-known companies in Russia, not only in Russia, right now in 2024 launched their multi-level partnership program. Maybe Alpha Bank even did it last year. What does it mean? It means that multi-level partnership programs are going to be mainstreamed and installed everywhere. And services you can see here already are operational and work with the multi-level partnership program. That's why you need to take the promo code from that person who invited you here. That will give you your own promo code that you can share with others. How do you find this piece of news? Please rate it at the level of 1 to 10. Show your ranking in the chat. And now we move on because I have many other pieces of news to share with you. The more we tell you, the more I want to go into greater detail, but we're limited in time. That's why I'm going to speed up. I see you tens. Very good. Perfect. Meaning that we hit the nail here. Look at this beautiful picture. This is not just a picture. You can see a car here, Lamborghini Huracan Tecnica, released in 2024, made in Italy, which the company DexNet bought at the cost of $400,000. We have branded it, and now it's in Dubai waiting for its lucky owner who is going to come to Dubai and collect it. Any one of you and us as well can become the lucky owner of that car. How? There is a site called Huracan. I forgot. Right here, there is a QR code on the slide. If you scan it, it will take you to the site, huracan.dexnet. I forgot something else after that. Okay, you can use this QR code, and you will see that you can participate in the beautiful lottery, not only for that car, for $400,000, but many, many other prizes. 60 products from Apple, iPhone, MacBooks, iPods, AirPods, iWatches. There are so many Apple products, and we own some of them, and they keep being popular because they keep updating them. And a total of 10 Dex nodes for those who want to own more of them. What needs to be done? To be part of that lottery or raffle, you need to buy a ticket, raffle ticket. That will be like a lottery ticket. You can win or lose. The more tickets you buy, the higher would be your chance to win. Can you get the ticket not for $50, its selling price, but as a gift? Yes, you can. Now, we're launching a game where you will be able to, after doing certain moves or actions, get one or more tickets for the lottery of this car. Try to imagine when you simply learned today at this webinar about this opportunity. Enter this game at the using the link of the person who provided to you by that person. Without personal link, you won't be able to join that game. If you do it first, it's highly likely that you will share it with somebody, and you will be 1 million, 10 million people, and under this partnership program will bring you a lot of rewards and gifts. But it will also give you a great ticket to this lottery ticket, and you can become a lucky owner of that beautiful azure colored Lambo at the cost of $400,000, powered by 700 horsepower. And it's not a fairy tale. It has been bought. Nobody is allowed to sit inside who want to shoot their personal content, so that it doesn't look like a used car. And Apple prizes, of course, they're here, nurtured in their boxes, ready to be sent to their owners. It can bring you more capital, more than $400,000. Some people understand it. That's why they have 100 DEX nodes. And some people have only one DEX node or less than that. Okay, I'm not going to preach to the choir. I think we have shown enough arguments in favor of buying a DEX node. Dmitry, can I say one thing? I think we have done a great job here. We have demonstrated that a DEX node is more valuable. It's more valuable than Huracan. You can win a car and you start paying for it, but the DEX node can earn you money both for Huracan and other great things in life. For a house, for a yacht, Huracan, and whatever you want. One thing to add here, maybe you haven't taken too seriously when I said it before that moment in time, that distribution of the profits of the company was on the 25th block, but the decision was made to make it earlier. And starting from block 13, we'll start distributing. Sorry, I'm sorry, I have to interfere. No, there was no information. That will start with block 13. I see it's turning into rumor. There was an official channel. There were ideas that might happen like this, but there was no guarantee about that. So I ask you not to distort the facts. Okay, to learn about the blocks and different conditions, you need to come to the webinar on August 13th, where the owners and the founders of DexNet will tell you about these conditions. That was one of the ideas, not the final decision, but an idea. Between the idea and the decision, there's a huge abyss. You need to do the analysis, measure things for a number of times. So I wouldn't be too quick in sharing this news about block 13. But the fact that it's going to happen earlier than block 24, that 40% of all the token rewards are going to be distributed, yes, it is true. That the decision has been made. What I'm saying here is that there is a saying that buy at the cost of rumors. So I'm buying at the cost of rumors. Well, if we look at it at this side, I fully agree with you then. It's my task as a managing director not to allow unchecked, unverified information to spread out like wildfire, because then they will tell me that the company has promised. I know for sure that no company has promised that yet. Today, Alexei, the owner of DexNet, asked me personally not to give any solid or carved in stone figures until August 13th. Let's summarize this slide and move on. Why it makes sense to buy DexNode, why it makes sense to buy it now instead of buying tokens on the exchange. You shouldn't exchange either tokens or DexNode. You should buy both. This is the best, most educated decision in your life. If you have DEX tokens without DexNode, it's silly. Understanding how much more tokens you can make with the DexNode. Because with tokens you can buy and sell, it's like a game thing for you. But the DexNode, like the thing which makes money for you. Remember there was a cartoon about the golden antelope that struck coins for you. The DexNode price grows, whereas in 2020 it was sold for 2023 it was sold for 1,500. Now with all the customs clearance and other things, it has increased by 20%. It is 1,800 now. The components for the manufacturing of the node has grown 2 times, and they're not using simple components or parts, but the ones which will allow this DEX node to be durable and it will be able to work for long term. They cost money. It's not like cheap Chinese parts when your DEX node works for a year and then stops. The company is thinking about its clients. The guarantee warranty period is 1 year, but expected operational life cycle is 5 years, and it's based on high quality durable components. That's why its price is growing. Just its price in manufacturing is growing. Token staking makes more sense. If you earn these tokens by the DEX node, you get more in staking than if you buy them on the exchange. Is the staking for these tokens bought on the exchange available? Not yet. It's going to be available, yes, but we don't know when. But already you can put your tokens into staking if you earn your tokens on the DEX node. Let's put them together. 330 million, 20 million, 10 million. Already a total of 60 million tokens have already been distributed. I already asked Alexei the question, how many of those tokens have been staked and how many of them have been released on the market? What do you think? I'm just curious about your guesstimate here in your comments. How many tokens have been staked out of 60 million? Out of 60 million distributed token, you can stake at least 50% should be staked. Yes, you're very close to the truth, actually. About 80% of all tokens have been staked by people, because the deeper they go into the technology, they attend not only one webinar, but they attend all the webinars and trainings. They start understanding how it works, and they understand they hit the mother lode here, and it would be silly to miss this opportunity. So about 80% of all tokens have been staked. Mikhail said that it's one of the advantages of the technology. That's why the value of the token is going to grow, because our community, which has already been created, who own the DEX nodes and who get their tokens and stake them, they understand very well that the price on the market now at around 4 cents, it's absolute minimum base rate. Actually, by the plans of the company mentioned at one of the webinars of DexNet, the plans, but no guarantees, but the ideas and plans and the vision how to make it to drive the token price up to $100 per token. And we already see that the company is making good on its promises. Maybe it will happen earlier than in the next few years. There are no guarantees, of course, because it's an open market, it's a free market, and there are many nuances that we cannot take into account. But the company will do its best to release the gigantic number of services to make them very appealing for the biggest number of audience and collect as many tokens from the market for the services, because users will pay for the services in tokens. It means that those tokens are going to be distributed among the owners of DEX node, 40% of them, and the value of token and its price is going to be driven up, and might happen earlier than that. But again, there are no guarantees, there are no promises, but the plans of the company, of the founders and the owners of the company who live in that company for 24 hours a day. I would like to thank everybody who shared their comments in the chat. Shall we move on, or there was something else to discuss? Okay. Now people are asking me how much I will get per month if I buy one DEX node right now. And I would have reformulated your question, because how much you will earn, you can see it in this picture. That will show you how many tokens you will get in each block, depending on which blocks you are part of, depending on how long your DEX node is plugged in. A lot depends on the client. These are the plans. This is the maximum you will get per day. Look at the right column. This is as many tokens you will get per day. Medium column will show you how many tokens you will get per month. And then money-wise, people think, okay, I'm going to invest about $1,800 or $1,650. I will collect my Dex node somehow from Dubai. Okay, I will pay 1,650. How quickly will I get my money paid returned to me? That's quite an adequate question from any sensible person. I pay my money. How, in what period of time can I expect to get it paid back? If everything depends on your courage and your greed, because it's not enough to buy a DEX node to get your money paid back, because now token costs 4 cents, for instance, but there are no promises or guarantees that it's not going to cost $1 tomorrow or $10. To answer this question, you need to understand that in the calculation formula of the payback period, there are a lot of variables. First, the price of the token at the moment of sale, the period when you decide to sell this token, and the number of tokens that you earn by your DEX node when you decide to buy them. But again, you have certain number of tokens in staking, which is growing in number depending on the period of staking you put it into, which is up to 36 months now. 36 months means 3 years. Tokens put in staking get you 60% annual interest rate. That's quite sizable. So earlier you buy into DEX node, to the earliest block you will connect it, the more tokens you'll earn, and the more of them you'll put into staking. And now those people who bought DEX nodes, say half a year ago, when there were no DEX nodes yet, they already got their investments paid back, but they didn't turn their investments into real money. They continued to accumulate their tokens earned, and they keep it on the leash, keeping their desires to sell tokens on the leash, because they understand it's gold, that if they sell it for a few cents now, in a year or a couple of years, they will thank themselves for keeping themselves from selling it right away. They will increase their capital multifold. For instance, the token price will increase to the level of $1. How will you feel if you have, say, 10,000 tokens? You will feel yourself very well, I'm sure, right? 10,000 tokens per dollar, it will be $10,000. Sounds like not that much, but it's quite sizable. You won't be able to afford a great car maybe, but if you wait until it costs $2, you will have $20,000 or $10, then you'll own $100,000. It means that one token makes sense when you look at chronologically. You need to understand it. To get your money paid back can be quickly done if you use partnership program. That will give you live money here and now. That will get your investment paid back here and now, but will allow you to buy more DEX nodes in future. Do you agree with this strategy, Mikhail and Sergey? I disagree with this type of putting this question, because it's like me wanting to build a factory, I know, to manufacture a car, high-tech factory to manufacture a car. And I think that, okay, now I can invite, say, 5 German guys, like engineers, high-tech guys who will build me a factory. And instead of 5 Germans, I can invite, say, 50 Tajik nationals who can build it faster. They will build it faster than Germans, right? They will build a box, yes, but technologically, they won't be able to make it high-tech. And I'm not building the factory to build it and sell it. The same can be looked at our personal ownership. When I want Italians putting my tiles in a house, it will cost me money. I do it once and I forget about it because the quality will be top-notch. Or if Russians will do the same for me. In my house, Russians put my tiles when I recalled their names and surnames next year already, because the tiles started to fall off because they were Russian plumbers. They didn't know how to do that, really, compared to Italian construction workers. The same way here with a factory, it will work for years to come and will popularize whatever that factory is going to manufacture. At the end of the path, long money will earn you more. It's not a sprint. It's not short distance run. It's a marathon if we compare it to the DEX node. If we convert it to rubles at this increase even at this moment is $150,000 rubles. I'm sorry, and we can look at what capital can be put together at the 7-year horizon. And we already mentioned that if Binance has turned it into $580, why we cannot turn it into, say, at least $100? It is quite easy to expect like this, and we are quite moderate in our expectations. And I see that the company is doing better than originally expected. And those people who are early adopters, they did not simply get their money paid back. They already got their investment increased by twofold, depending on at which level they entered this business. And we compare it if they're going to develop at the same pace. And of course, the progression is going to increase. But even if it continues at the same pace, that in 7-year time horizon, they will make themselves very wealthy people. So I would have suggested a different technology. I can never be made like you told me in the 10,000 tokens, and I've staked in 75,000, 48,000 there, 90,000 there, and if it costs $1, nobody will make me to sell it. Never, not for $10 a token, never. I fully agree with you that here, at the cost of providing this information to other people, helping them get more money on this, and this capital must be grabbed on and held on until you see that this capital can make you wealthy until the end of your life. This is my strategy. This is my philosophy. There is no contradiction to what I said. I just showed it from different angle. I used the same example. It doesn't make, of course, you don't have to sell it for $1 or $2. I just had to use some numbers. People were asking about validation rule. We're going to tell you more about this. We have very good tasted bits prepared for you. Can I take just 1 minute of our time? I would disagree with you that everything depends on your greed. I wouldn't use this word greed, but rather strategy. When I tell people about this, I answer them that it depends on at what moment in time you are ready to sell your tokens. If you want to collect, there's just the price you paid for the DEX node, or you want to make many, many times more than that. But we forget about other thing. When you buy into DEX node, you start earning tokens for the maintenance of the network, but you also get a ready-to-use business. We didn't mention about this. You get a turnkey business here that includes free of charge training, free of charge webinar system and presentations, offline activities, and full automated bot business making system that helps you to fully automate your business, becoming a business partner, basically like buying into franchise. It's not a franchise, but similar to that. Totally for free. You don't have to pay anything for that. You simply buy a DEX node, and you also buy without a right to become a business partner, using all the automation systems. Doing nothing really, you can already make on the sales, and from that money, that's how I do it. That's my strategy. I buy tokens from the exchange using that revenue and accumulate them without staking to reach a moment when there will be abrupt increase in price. And you know how tokens increase. There is some great news about Huracan and Grant. 10 million users enter it, and the price plummets. Skyrockets, and you can sell it, make X, 2x, 3x, 10. You get all your money originally invested paid back. This is my strategy, and I recommend everybody looking in the same direction. Please come to our webinars when we tell about business strategies. I would have described it in different words. If you want money, we have plenty to offer from different angles and opportunities. There are so many ways and methods to make money here. So to get your original investment paid back is not the most frequently asked questions here. You need both DEX nodes and tokens. This is the bottom line of our discussion. Independent of our strategies, all of us buy DEX nodes, buy tokens, and make money on the partnership program. All these 3 nodes should be used to their highest potential. Now about the validation right. We're coming to the closure of our seminar. It's almost We've been online for 2 hours almost, but nothing can stop us. Let's talk about the validation right, because it's a very interesting instrument on how to increase your capital. Yet another one. Validation right is an opportunity to participate in the acquisition of commission from all the blockchain transactions. DexNet is planning to distribute up to 90% of all the commissions on its own blockchain among the owners of DEX nodes. You see, that's what you need a DEX node for. The ownership of tokens will not buy you a validation right. Now we are planning to issue or release a total of 3,000 validation rights. 3,000. Not every DEX node owner will get access to that because they won't be able to buy it because it costs additional money. For you to understand the value that it will bring to you, we would like to show you which conditions will be offered to different famous blockchains. We have done a thorough analytics. We looked at 20 blockchains which offer such validation rights to their users. They do it for a long time, have been doing it for a long time, and do it quite expensively. DexNet, compared to them, looks like we're distributing it free of charge. Validation right, once again, is the ability to participate in the distribution of the profits from the commission of all the transactions made on blockchain. For instance, the validators of the Ethereum blockchain only for the first quarter of 2024 made $1.2 billion. The validators of Ethereum blockchain. In 2023, Ethereum blockchain validators made a bit more than $2 billion, and they distributed evenly among themselves. Those people who bought into the validation right of Ethereum blockchain. Who would like to return a few years back when this validation right was offered by Ethereum? Show your plus signs in the chat box. The same happened with Bitcoin. It cost nothing, then it started to increase with the prices, although originally somebody bought 2 pizzas for 10,000, 2 million Bitcoins. So the value or wealth comes with patience, but if you feel inside you this potential, it's better to do it now, and maybe you won't win. But the worst case scenario is when you lose or fail to win because you didn't buy into it originally. I remember when I could have bought into Bitcoin, it was 2012. The same happened to a lot of other cryptocurrencies and other blockchains: Solana, Ton, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Binance, Smart Chain. All these blockchains, they became quite valuable in quite short period of time, and they sold their validation right. I see a lot of pluses coming from people who wanted to be there in the time machine back in the past. So now, basically, a few years from now, somebody would love to be in your shoes at this webinar to learn it about this opportunity first. But in a few years from now, it will be too late. There will be no access to validation right. Now, about this validation opportunity. Sergey just mentioned about blockchain. Now, the quickest and fastest blockchain in the world, according to my information, is Ton blockchain. It makes up to 105,000 transactions per second. 105,000 transactions per second. Ethereum, for comparison's sake, which brings to their validators in first quarter only $1.2 billion, making 119 transactions, 105,000 vis-a-vis 119 transactions per second. And now, DexNet blockchain, we are testing it. It's been deployed on 3, and it shows 3,800 transactions per second. Ethereum, whose validators are making more than 1 billion per quarter, 119 transactions per second. Blockchain, Transnet, which is being launched very soon, already on 3 DEX nodes, is showing almost 4,000 transactions per second. The company needs just 3,000 validators at this moment in time. The speed of transactions is going to be huge. It's more likely that it's going to be much higher than 5,000 than the leader of the market, ton. Can you imagine how many transactions are going to be made there? How many commissions are going to be acquired by the company? And 90% of this commission is going to be distributed among these 3,000 validators who bought into this validation right. And they can buy into it only if they own a DEX node. So this is your profit. Buy DEX node or tokens. You can buy tokens, but if you don't buy a DEX node, you won't be able to buy into this very big and tasty validation pie. Which one of you would like to buy validation right? 3,800 per second is now during the testing. When the game is going to be launched, we're going to test this blockchain because there will be input output speed. We still have a few days left. You will see with your own eyes. You already have this insider's information that very soon everyone's attention will be drawn to the company DexNet, to our services and technology. How much money do you need to become a validator of any blockchain? I see pluses. These are the feedbacks from the people who want to buy into validation rights. Before you mention how much they have to pay for the validation right, I also watched and browsed through analytics of some of the most popular blockchains, and would like to tell you that the company now gives us an exclusive right. This is indeed an exclusive right because there are blockchains, Polkadot, if I'm not mistaken, they have only 100 validators. That's it. They're not going to have more than that. They limit the number of validators. On DexNet chain, for instance, they're going to provide this right to 3,000 validators to process transactions and get commission out of that. And we are part of this 3,000 already. This is a unique opportunity, which is not going to repeat itself. No, validation right, and the validation right keys are not on sale yet, but we are among those people who potentially can get this validation rights. Yes, we have this chance, but it depends on the person how speedily they will make this decision, because we sell more and more DEX nodes every day, and it's up to the people's decision whether they're going to buy them or not. And the validation rights are going to be released on the market partially. The freshest information I have, really insider information for you. I'm going to read it out to you now. What is the price of this validation right? First, I will talk about the value and then about the price. Here it is. As of September 1st, we are starting the sale of the first 500 validation keys. We have a few weeks until the start of the sale of the first 500 out of 3,000 validation keys. Can anybody buy it? Only those people who own DexNode, who have bought into DexNode before September 1st. Those people who learn about this now, thinking that they don't own DexNode, but if you manage to buy DexNode before September 1st, you will be provided with the opportunity. There will be competition for the first 500. After this first 500, there will be other sales, but with less appealing conditions. You will learn about the price of this validation key on 13th of August at our webinar. But it will cost a few $1,000s for sure. Be ready for that. It won't be enough to buy it. You will need to have a certain number of tokens that you will have to put into lock for a certain period of time to be a validator. This is a precondition of virtually all blockchains, to have equipment, hardware, to have tokens, which are in staking of that blockchain. These are two main conditions of any validation rights, but it costs different money in different companies, and in many blockchains people are waiting for years to get their validation rights after paying that amount, and they still don't get it. But here, as soon as you get validation key, you get guaranteed validation right along with that. And now, most importantly, is not to unstake your tokens, not to lose it, but you'll get all the detailed information on August 13th at our webinar. For the first 500 keys, we'll get the best, most appealing, unbelievable conditions. But they will be available only to those clients who are already owners of the DEX node and who will buy a DEX node before September 1st. If you own a few DEX nodes, you can buy a few validation keys. Can you buy a validation key without DEX node? No, you cannot. If you buy it after September 1st, will I be able to become validated? Yes, you will, but only after the first 500 validation keys are sold. There was Alexei at webinar recently mentioned that there was an idea to make it 1500 USDT as a price in tokens for 20% discount, 1200. Please look at the contest. He said that there are ideas, an idea. It's not a final decision. He just shared what the company was thinking about. Now, the most recent information that it's not going to cost 1500. It's not going to be 1200 in tokens. How much will be the price? Specifically, this figure is going to be released on August 13th, but not 1500 for sure. For you to understand, let's take Ethereum blockchain. 32 tokens must be staked in Ethereum, and Ethereum token costs now how much? About 2,200 multiplied by 32. How much is that? Can somebody multiply it? What kind of equipment do you need for the Ethereum, for the validation right? It's a separate thing you have to buy and configure. In DexNet, you don't need to specifically buy expensive hardware. It's enough to be the owner of a DEX node, which you simply plug in and connect to public internet Wi-Fi. It's 67,200. This is an example, 67,200. Additionally, hardware procurement at an unknown price to become a validator. Equipment for so it's about $800,000. And how much money is made by validator per month? That's the question we get on this slide. Usually, the rate of return, if a person buy tokens and equipment and spends certain amount, usually validation keys bring an income of 3 to 10% income per year, but it's stable. But there is no way to get access to it. It's quite an expensive investment for a person. Here, it will be much less expensive than $67,000 plus equipment, but not $1,500 for sure. It will be higher, maybe 2 times, maybe 3, maybe 5 times higher than that. The exact price point will be mentioned at the webinar on 13th of August. That is why those people who are thinking about it seriously, prepare your USDTs and prepare your tokens that you will have to put in staking to buy this validation right to get the distribution of the commission. Of course, we can open the statistics, but we have provided already too much information to you. So we'll not compare different blockchains, but you can Google for it or Yandex it to see how much it costs to become a validator for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Ton, and you will see answers to your questions. So this is your home assignment to do your own research. But I mentioned general numbers, 3 to 10% annual interest rate. An example of Ethereum, which the tokens which are locked. And additionally, also you have to buy into equipment and understand how it is to be configured. And it's not so easy. There are many videos on YouTube. Some people became validators of Solana, or Ethereum, or other things. Please watch those videos to understand what is the huge values provided to you being having the validator's rights. Poor people cannot afford to become validator. Well, actually, usually those people who already have money to buy it for, nobody's distributing validation rights for free anywhere because it can earn you a lot of money. For instance, Solana validator can make up to $3,500 per month. And they don't do anything special for that. they have their DEX node there, and each blockchain configuring of the equipment, it's what it's, you have to buy the equipment. Without the DEX node, you cannot become a validator. The same rule works in any other blockchain. Validation is like a confirmation. DEX node is your confirmation. I'm not going to answer this silly questions, some provocational questions. Sergey and Mikhail, if you have something to add about the validation right, maybe some cases, examples, or your vision. Well, I would have put an emphasis here on the fact that the company gives to the validators 90% of all the profits of the company from the commission. It's like hiring a manager. They thought about this, who have they charge as managers only 10% out of all the charged commissions. The rest is distributed among validators. I think it's very gracious and very bountiful. It's great. The conditions have been changed already. They're saying, no, there were no conditions mentioned. Before that, only general ideas have been shared with you. We need to think about it once, twice, and those people who rely on rumors are never solid, and you shouldn't say that conditions have been changed. You shouldn't think in such terms. No conditions have been mentioned before. Yes, Sergey. I would have added one thing about the commission that validators will be getting. Most of the blockchains give 10% of the overall commission to validators, so 20% only. 90% is unheard of, really. It's very generous for DexNet. Other blockchains don't do it this way. That's the first thing. Secondly, in fact, our validator will get a key. They don't need to buy new equipment, right? They don't need to buy new service, because if you look at what services are required for validation, say Solana or Ethereum or TON, they need super powerful servers that very few people can afford or buy. Secondly, you need super speedy internet, where the speed is up to 1 gigabit per second. You need to understand this as well, that many blockchains have very strict requirements for the selection of their validators. And first they test their validators. They allow them to first buy the hardware to test their staked tokens as well. And if within a certain period of time you won't be able to see how it works, you'll start generating errors, you'll be fined, penalized, and you'll be deprived of your validation rights. It's very strict, because blockchains are very strict about that. And here you need to understand that it's not like you put in a key something and you're a happy camper earning 90% commission. No, it's a totally different business. We need to pay more attention to this, but still the company makes it quite easy for you when you don't need to buy additional hardware or read volumes and volumes of technical information. To summarize and to compare validation of any blockchain and DexNet blockchain, it's much easier. It many times less expensive than other validation businesses, and it's easily predictable. Restriction to 3,000 validators in the company. With 3,000 validation DEX nodes, the company will have super speedy blockchain and will be able to process millions of transactions per second. Well, I haven't mentioned it officially yet. Let's see how it will work in practice, but the potential is as high. So all the talks about the validation right until August 13th are considered to be just ideas and our speculations, and not the final decisions or promises or guarantees. Please take it seriously. Don't distort the facts. Don't turn the fly into an elephant, because it will be untrue. If you start spreading this information saying that there's validation right on sale, it's readily available for you for $1,500. No, it's not like this. And it's never going to be like this. Okay, guys. Validation right is done and over with. We invite you to the webinar on 30th of August. Join our Telegram channels not to miss that valuable information about upcoming events that will be revealing official announcements of the company. But keep asking questions like, is this an idea or the final decision? Because any information should be taken like that, because you need to separate these vague ideas from really solid decisions. Can it be paid in tokens? How much it will cost? You'll get answers to all these questions on August 13th. You need to wait a bit. I don't have money for that. See, you learn about this. Try to raise these funds. Talk to people who know where to get these funds from and how to buy it. Undertake some additional effort. Otherwise, when I read questions and start thinking, when people want to get everything from their life for free, without any efforts, without investing any resources into it, it's impossible. It's like a famous fairy tale. When people want to get ever more and more out of the genie, and eventually they end up with nothing. It is true about any information you get from other people. Please verify it. Sergey and Mikhail, do you have anything to add to what we have mentioned before? If you do, then please share. I think we have done a great job today, which was to show the main competitive advantages of buying DexNet devices and not only tokens on the market. And for the company and all the participants, it makes sense if through today's webinar you see that insiders information that tokens are going to grow, you will start buying DexNotes on the market. It will also drive the price of the tokens on the market, and it will be great for those owners of DexNotes who own them. If you see that the DexNote gives you a somewhat different level of earning more in your life, that means we have done a great job today. That's why we have gathered here today, for you to benefit from this information. And then I would also like to thank Dmitry for the great news shared with us. Really great news. So I'm going to be sleepless until August 13th, where I'm eager to learn about both staking and validation right. Please keep in touch. We enjoy working with you. Another thing before I forget, before August 13th, there will be yet another webinar where we'll tell about the game, because the game is going to be launched this week already. Please follow our channels not to miss that webinar and to be among the first hundreds of millions of people who will learn about this game. I would have added here another thing, that you don't need to wait until August 13th, because you don't have time to wait. Actually, the sooner you buy into it, the sooner you buy your ticket into this rocket that will blast us off. Basically, buying DexNode, you buy a factory that will make this and earn this DexNodes for you. Along with that, it will give you an opportunity to develop your business and make money right here and now. Tomorrow you buy into DexNode, tomorrow you will start your business. Additionally, you will start making money buying tokens from the market, from the exchange, which you will be able to use to buy your validation right for your capitalization. So decision is up to you. Make this decision as soon as possible. And once again, before those people who buy into DexNode before September 1st are eligible to become the early validator at the lowest possible price. Can we get the link to the game? Yes, you will be able to get it as soon as it is released. The testing of the game is being finished. Those people who by accident got connected to it are going to be disconnected, and we will relaunch it on a different resource. Thank you for spending these 2 hours of your time with us. Whether you decide to buy a new DexNode or more DexNodes or tokens and DexNodes or validation rights, is up to you to decide. We are not urging you to do one or another. We have just shared this information that we have ourselves. We told you what we have bought into. We shared our own strategies. You have ample opportunities in your hands. Now ball is in your hands. Don't forget that the partnership program is here and now, already making big money for those people who promote DexNet technology to others, who share their personal links with others. And please download all the services already available, like DexSafe, issue your own crypto card. Dex Mobile will be issued until the end of this month. Dex Mobile, the game is going to be released this week. Webinar 13th of August, and Huracan and dozens of different prizes from Apple are going to be played in December. So everything that I mentioned before is more than enough for you to make a final, educated, and sensible decision and join this great piece of business. See you at the next webinar. Actually, for our partners, we organize it every day, where you can get answers for all your questions. Mikhail and Sergey, thank you for your expert opinions. Thank you for the hot debate when we showed our visions to each other. I liked it very much. It is very right that we were not too fanatic about this, repeating each other's stories. Instead, we showed different angles of the same story, how we see it from the prism of our experience. This way, we had a very cool webinar. And now let us watch a video about this Lamborghini. You will see our founders and owners of the company live as well. I would like to wish you success. Be the owners of multiple nodes. No one has ever done this in this industry before. We have been working towards this for 7 years. Main prize from DexNet is worth $400,000. Whatever you do, wherever you live,